In just before sunrise on December 1st, 1948, a man's body was discovered on Somerton Park Beach in Adelaide, Australia. He was well dressed, propped against the seawall, a half-smoked cigarette resting on his collar. There were no signs of a struggle, no identification, and all the labels on his clothing had been meticulously cut off. This was the beginning of one of history's most baffling and enduring mysteries, the case of the Somerton Man. To this day, we still don't know who he was, where he came from, or how he died. But what if we could piece together his final, cryptic hours? At around 9:15 a.m., a man matching his description, 5 feet 11, with grey blue eyes and athletic build, purchased a train ticket from Adelaide railway station to Hanley Beach. He didn't use the ticket. Instead, he checked a brown suitcase into the station's cloakroom at 11 a.m. Inside this suitcase, police would later find neatly packed clothes, but just like the clothes on his body, all the identifying tags were gone. One particular item stood out, a reel of orange waxed thread, not commercially available in Australia, suggesting he might have traveled from overseas. Witnesses later placed him on a bus heading towards the Somerton Park area in the evening. At around 7 p.m., a couple walking on the beach spotted a well-dressed guy lying on the sand near the crippled children's home. They saw him raise his right arm, then let it drop limply. They assumed he was drunk or just sleeping it off and walked on. A couple spotted him around 7:30 p.m., frozen in place, legs stretched and feet crossed. They remarked how strange it was to see such a well-dressed man in that position, but also assumed he was asleep. The mosquitoes were biting, but he didn't stir. By 8 p.m., he was still there. These sightings are crucial. They paint a picture of a man slowly succumbing to something. Was it poison? Was it a medical condition? The autopsy by a top Aussie pathologist showed serious organ congestion, hinting at heart failure and maybe even poison. Yet, no trace of any known poison was ever found. His last meal, a mushy dish, had no contaminants. His heart, spleen, and liver were engorged with blood. The coroner was stumped, concluding it was an unnatural death, but the cause was impossible to determine. The mystery deepened months later. A tiny, tightly rolled piece of paper was discovered in a hidden fob pocket sewn into the man's trousers. On it were 2 words, printed in an ornate font, Tamám Shud. This is a Persian phrase, meaning it is ended or finished. These words were torn from the final page of a very specific book, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, a collection of Persian poems. A nationwide police appeal was launched to find the exact copy of the book. In a bizarre twist, a local man came forward. He said that right after the Somerton Man's body was found, he discovered a rare first edition of the Rubaiyat tossed into the back of his unlocked car, which was parked near Somerton Beach. He didn't think much of it until he saw the police appeal. And on the book's final page, the section with Tamám Shud was torn out, a perfect match to the paper found on the body. But that wasn't all. Inside the book, faintly written in pencil, was what appeared to be a code. 5 lines of seemingly random capital letters, with 1 line crossed out. Top cryptographers from around the world, including military intelligence, have tried to decipher it for over 70 years. None have succeeded. Was it a secret message? A one-time pad cipher from a Cold War spy? The book also contained a phone number belonging to a nurse who lived just a few blocks from Somerton Beach. When questioned, she was evasive, denying she knew the man, though she appeared deeply distressed and almost fainted when shown his plaster-cast bust. She admitted to once owning a copy of the which she had given to an army lieutenant named Alfred Boxall during World War II. For a moment, police thought they had their man. Was the Somerton Man Alfred Boxall? But that theory quickly collapsed when Boxall was found alive and well, with his copy of the Rubaiyat intact, the Tamám Shud page still there. The nurse, known as Jestyn, remained a person of interest, but her connection was never proven. Who was she protecting? What did she know? In 2022, a breakthrough seemed imminent. Professor Derek Abbott, using advanced DNA analysis on hairs found in the death mask, claimed to have identified the Somerton Man as Carl Charles Webb, an electrical engineer and instrument maker born in 1905. While this is the most promising lead in decades, it hasn't been officially confirmed by police. And even if it is him, it doesn't answer the bigger questions. Why was he there? Why the secrecy? And what was the meaning of the Unbreakable code? The Somerton Man's last day remains a haunting narrative. A man who bought a ticket he never used, checked a bag of anonymous clothes, and spent his final hours gazing at the sea before dying a silent, mysterious death. Was he a jilted lover, a Cold War spy, or just a man who wanted to erase himself from the world? The case of Tamám Shud is a stark reminder that some secrets, no matter how much time passes, may truly be lost to the sands of time. Thanks for watching, and if you have your own theories, share them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into history's greatest unsolved mysteries.